The tiny alien woman bit me, but she had no idea what would happen next. The night was supposed to be ordinary. I had been stationed alone on Outpost 47, a forgotten research post on the edge of the Andarian wastes, where the sand shimmered silver under the twin moons. My only company was the hum of the generator and the static-filled voices from the comms tower that rarely came through. I was 6 months into a 12-month rotation, and silence had become my closest friend. That was until I heard the knock. It wasn't really a knock. It was more like something tapped against the steel door of the observation dome. Low, hesitant, almost human. I froze with my mug of recycled coffee halfway to my lips. No one was supposed to be here. The nearest outpost was a full 80 kilometers away. My first thought was desert bandits, scavengers maybe, but then the sensor alarms didn't go off. Curiosity, or loneliness, pushed me to check. I opened the heavy hatch, and the cold desert wind rushed in. Standing outside was a figure barely 4 feet tall, wrapped in torn fabric that shimmered like liquid glass. She was trembling, her large, glowing eyes reflecting the starlight. "Please," she whispered in a voice that carried an echo, like 2 voices speaking at once. "Don't shut the door." I stepped aside before I could think better of it. She stumbled in, the sand slipping from her clothes like powdered silver. Her skin had a faint violet hue, her hair a deep shade of cobalt, and when I offered her water, she sipped it with both hands trembling. "I'm not from here," she said, as if that wasn't already obvious. "No kidding," I muttered, but quietly enough that she didn't seem to hear. She told me her name was Leary. She said she had escaped something. Someone from beneath the dunes, from a buried ship half-eaten by time. She had been alone for days, maybe weeks. I didn't press her for details. She looked terrified enough. I let her rest in the medbay. She fell asleep fast, though her breathing was strange, rhythmic in a way that didn't sound human. I was still watching her when she suddenly jerked upright, eyes wide. Then she bit me. It happened so fast that I barely processed it. She grabbed my wrist, her small teeth sinking into my skin. I shouted, stumbling back. She looked horrified, more horrified than I was. "I'm sorry," she cried. "It's a reflex. I needed to see if you were real." Blood welled where her teeth had broken the skin, but what shocked me wasn't the pain. It was the warmth spreading from the wound, like liquid fire pulsing under my veins. "What did you do to me?" gasped. She shook her head. "You'll be fine. Probably. Just don't panic." Probably. Within minutes, my vision blurred. The light stretched and pulsed, and I felt my heartbeat slow, then quicken again. I tried to stay on my feet but collapsed into the chair by the console. When I came to, hours or maybe minutes had passed. Leary sat beside me, watching, her face tight with worry. "You survived," she murmured. "That's impossible." "What was that?" "Poison." She shook her head. "A binding. My species evolved a defense mechanism. A bite that merges our biology with another's. It's meant to make predators sick." "But you," she reached out, pressing her small palm to my chest. "You're changing." And she was right. Over the next few hours, my body pulsed with strange energy. My skin prickled with a faint luminescent sheen. My senses sharpened. I could hear the hum of the generator from rooms away, feel the heartbeat of the small alien beside me. When I looked in the mirror, faint silver lines traced up my neck like branching rivers. "I didn't mean to," Leary said quietly. "I thought you'd die. I didn't know humans could adapt." Adapt. The word rang in my head like a bell. That night the storm hit. The Andarian winds howled with the fury of 1,000 beasts, tearing across the dunes. Power flickered. The dome shuddered. I tried to reinforce the seals, but one of the outer walls gave way, and the sand came roaring in. Leary screamed as the wind ripped through the outpost. I grabbed her and dragged her toward the generator room, the only structure strong enough to hold. But the storm was alive. I could feel it, through her bite, through whatever connection had formed between us. Something massive moved beneath the sand. A shape rose from the dunes, towering dark, with metallic limbs and 1,000 glowing eyes. Leary went pale. "They found me," she whispered. "The Scourge, they were the ones who trapped me here. They consume everything. And they've tracked my signal." She tried to push me away. "You have to run. If they see me." But I didn't. Something inside me, some instinct not my own, rose up. The glow under my skin flared. And then I heard her voice inside my head. "You can use it. Bon. Focus." The storm roared louder, but I closed my eyes and let the strange heat flow. The world shifted, slowed. I raised my hand, and light burst from my fingertips, silver and white, cutting through the darkness. The creature shrieked as the beam struck it, its armor melting like wax. Leary clung to my arm, her eyes wide. "You shouldn't be able to do that," she whispered. I didn't have time to answer. The rest of the Scourge retreated into the dunes, vanishing as suddenly as they'd come. When the storm finally died, silence fell over the wasteland once more. We stood there, staring out at the endless silver sand. "So," I said, still shaking, "that bite thing, guess it wasn't all bad." Leary managed a weak laugh. "You might be the first human who survived it. Or the last." She looked up at me, her expression softer now. "You saved me. That means something to my kind." "Yeah," I said. "Just try not to bite anyone else, all right?" She smiled faintly. "No promises." And under the glow of the twin moons, as the wreckage of the outpost cooled, I realized something extraordinary. Her bite hadn't just changed me, had bound us. Whatever came next, we'd face it together. The dawn broke slowly over the Andarian wastes, washing the dunes in gold and violet light. The storm had passed, leaving only silence and the faint hum of the damaged generator. The outpost was half buried, but somehow still standing, just like us. Leary sat beside me on the metal steps, her tiny frame wrapped in a blanket that dwarfed her. Her violet eyes glowed faintly in the morning light. I could still feel the pulse of her energy within me, like a second heartbeat that wasn't mine. "So what happens now?" I asked quietly. She looked toward the horizon. "They'll come again. The Scourge never stop." "But," she turned back to me, her voice trembling with something like hope, "you're connected to me now. My power flows through you. Together we might have a chance." I flexed my fingers, watching faint silver light shimmer along my veins. The sensation was no longer foreign. It felt right, as if it had been waiting inside me all along. I met her gaze and smiled. "Then we make them regret ever coming back." Leary's lips curved into a mischievous grin. "Humans, always ready for impossible odds." "Someone has to be," I said. For a long time we sat there, two survivors beneath twin suns, one human, one alien, bound by accident or maybe fate. The wasteland around us no longer felt like a prison, felt like a beginning. When she stood, the wind lifted her hair like strands of blue fire. "Let's rebuild," she said softly. "This time together." And as I followed her into the rising light, the warmth in my chest spread, bright and alive. Whatever her bite had done, it hadn't cursed me, had awakened me.